Hello everybody, welcome back. It's been so long. It's like getting out of prison, but I've never been to prison. If you have been to prison, let us know. I mean, don't tell us what you're in for or anything like that. But it's been a footballing prison. We're out of it. 3.5 weeks without a Manchester United game. And we are back. Welcome back. And we're playing Leeds, which has some rivalry as well. So very, very happy about that. I mean, look, we wait 3.5 weeks and Agate's playing in the midfield because Man Utd's injured. But you can counterbalance that with the fact that we've got Martinez starting. We've got Mazraoui starting at right back instead of Delo. And we've got Sesko starting as well. So I think the midfield could get overrun. I mean, Casemiro's going to have to put in a really good shift today. I would certainly say that. But excited to see Mazraoui starting. Excited to see Sesko starting up front in a game of football. And as I said, you know, we can't do a lot about injuries, unfortunately. I don't know why everything's just loading up now. Don't worry about that. That'll be here very, very shortly with you. Let's get that line up on the screen there. Also, as an added bonus tonight as well. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. As an added bonus tonight, we've got... Oh, gremlins in the system. Leave it. I'll sort it. Okay. That's fine, isn't it? There we go. The team's on the screen. That's disappeared again. What's going on? It'll come out. It'll come back. It'll come back. We have got the added bonus of my player rating show being back part of the match reaction. Some people liked having two separate shows. Listen, now it's just got that there. Oh, I'm having a rub. Man United better bloody win tonight. I'm telling you. It's not been the best start to the week. And tomorrow at 10 o'clock, you know, it's the end. So the end for the channel. So... as you know it. So don't... Oh, it's gone countdown to kickoff again! Just leave it alone. Whoever's touching it, leave it alone. I'm telling you now, just leave it alone. Don't touch anything. I will sort it out. I sort things out. Leave it. Do not press anything again. We're back. Thank you. Oh, tell you what. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Yeah, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, probably the most significant bit of news this channel's ever had in 10 years. And I'm not messing about. This is not rage bait. It's not going to be we're starting watch-alongs 20 minutes early. It's not going to be we're doing a live show in Dublin. It literally is going to be the biggest bit of news we've ever had in the history of the United Stand. So 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, check it out. But tonight we need a win from Manchester United. There is the team on the screen for you. It's gone again. That's on me. I'll take ownership there. Let me get that back for you. So look, that's the United lineup. I do think that Mazraoui in it instead of Delo is good. I don't know whether Delo has been left out because he's carrying a knock. I don't know about that. We do know that Manu has had an issue in training, but Carrick thinks it's a small issue, but it's big enough to keep him out of tonight, and it wasn't worth taking the risk. Flip side of that is we're taking the risk on Martinez, who after 2 months is back straight into the starting lineup. Could be an element of risk to that. I would have been happier going for Heaven if it was a risk, but we have to look at that, I suppose, and you know, if he is fit, then that's a really big statement for Martinez to be back. We're never going to get rid of Luke Shaw, so I'm not going to moan about that. Yoro in at centre-back helps. No Manu, so Agate comes in. Very short in the midfield, as we know. Mason Mount's on the bench, but who gives a toss? He's not very good anyway in the midfield, but at least he can come on as an attacking sense. I think that, you know, we're in a good place with the team that we've got. I think Ahmad's lucky to start. I do think Ahmad's lucky to start. I think you know, Mbeumo being on the bench is a bit harsh. We spent £65 million on on Embuemo to put him on the bench to let Ahmad play. Look, I know you all think it's funny in the chat, but I'm actually trying to do a Man United watch-along. Sacked in the morning, I don't even know what it means. I don't know where it started from, but I will just put it on members-only chat so we can talk about football. Like, I know it's been 3.5 weeks, but I would like to just talk about a Man United game, if that's okay. So, can you shout out my Sunday League team, Jumping Cows, says Carl. Yeah, can we have another 3.5 weeks off? I mean, this is just irritating. This is just massively irritating. I mean, can we just talk about Manchester United playing Leeds? Fucking hell. I'll be glad to announce the news tomorrow. I actually can't wait. 24 hours from now, and I'm free. I actually can't wait. Mike says, evening legends, hope you're all well. An evening to the original boss of the channel. Come on, guys, let's have a win, says Mike. Thank you, Ryan. And Kat Stewart, thanks for being a member for 10 months as well. Appreciate that as well. Let's have a look at the Leeds lineup. So, we've got... There it is. So, Leeds... I mean, Leeds are technically well, they're not technically. Leeds are in a relegation battle, of course. Darlow, Justin, Bijol, Struck, Bogle, Ampadu, Tanaka, Goodmanson, Aronson, Okafor, Calvert-Lewin. I mean, they have got Aronson, who Ricky would put in a combined 11 ahead of Bruno Fernandes. So, you know, that's maybe we need to watch out for Aronson. Look, Leeds will be a well-organised outfit. Maybe I was a little bit generous saying that we would win the game 4-0. I hope we will. I hope we do get entertained tonight. But I think we will score 2 goals, and I don't think Leeds will. So I can see us winning this game, and I'm sure Leeds will give it their best go. But we've got such an incentive to win the game today and get ourselves into a strong position. As we know, Chelsea are in an absolute state, and a win for us puts us into 3rd place and comfortably into those Champions League spots. So. Look, I think that it's been a long wait to get a Man United game back, but we are back now, and I'd like to see a couple of good performances against 2 teams that I think are certainly beatable, Leeds and Chelsea. So I think that, you know, let's hope that we can go and do that. Some comments coming in from Gary Neville. Let me have a quick look at these about Carrick. I mean, I think it's inevitable at some point he's going to back his mate, isn't he? He says, I think it's getting to a point of inevitability where Michael Carrick will be appointed as Man United manager in a month or so. If he finishes 3rd in the league from where they were, it was desperate in here for a period. It was a roller coaster, but there were a lot more lows and dips than there were highs. At times it was really awful and depressing. We were 3 points. We were joint 5th. We were already in the Champions League spot when Carrick came in, if we want to get technical. There are a lot of positives why Carrick should get the job. I said initially I felt Man United should go for a world-class manager who's got experience of elite level, who's won titles and who's been in Champions League football. Yeah, well, stick to your guns, Gary. I mean, exactly, stick to your guns. Why changing your mind? A couple of candidates I put forward at the time have disappeared from the list because they've got other jobs or they've continued to work somewhere else. I'm still of the opinion that if Man United can get a Luis Enrique, they should explore that. But the job that Carrick has done with his coaching team is exceptional. The reality is that it will become too big a gamble not to appoint him in the end because of what he's done and how he's stabilised the club. I mean, does everybody watch Man United with blinkers on? We've been shit for 2 months. The results are brilliant. I agree the results are brilliant, but I just feel like you're singing in the darkness. We were shit against Newcastle. We were shit against Palace. We were shit against West Ham. We weren't very good against Everton, and we weren't very good against Bournemouth. We've just got results. I don't know what this exceptional performance is all about. I mean, I hope we're going to start doing that over the next 2 games, because then when he gets the job, at least we're playing good football. But I don't think we have been playing good football. The reality is that it will become too big a gamble not to appoint him in the end because of what he's done and how he's stabilised the club, not just on the pitch, but off it. His calmness, the staff, after the redundancy turbulence, they trust him. I think it's inevitable they'll give him the job in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Oh, God. What did I say last week? Neville will turn and back Carrick and imminently, and that's the last one. That's the last one, isn't it? Jason Day, thanks for being a member for 38 months. He says we need to score early to let the game open up, then the goals will come. Yeah, well, we've still got Casemiro and we've still got Bruno for the set pieces, haven't we? So that'll be good. Would Cantona put in a shift over Calvert-Lewin? It's been ages since the last game. I hope I go to sleep happy today. I like the lineup. Let's hope we start unlike the last few games, says Ashish. And Andrew says, will United be up for these games? Champions League close to secured, relaxed training with Carrick and playing 2 desperate teams. Love the channel, love from Nashville. We need a proper number 7, says Rook, us on the roof. And did Mbeumo have an issue on international duty and he had to leave early? That's why he's only on the bench. Yes, I think he did. I think you make a good point. I think he did. Zach as well. Welcome to my school. Did Delo also have an issue as well? Am I right in saying that Delo had an issue? Mario says, I watched my first Gold Devils game today. Shocker. Mate, I did the stream. It was absolutely shit. I wouldn't even use the word shocker. I think it's too polite. I think it was absolutely disgraceful. I can only apologise. I mean, I wasn't there. But I'd still take responsibility. Agate is starting because Mainu's got an injury. Yeah, Mainu's got an injury. Yeah, so I think that explains that. Still got 18 minutes to go till half time. 18 minutes to go till the start of this game. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right hand corner. Really appreciate that. Okay, sorry, there was a few settings on the stream that suddenly make sense. Slow mode wasn't on and subscriber mode wasn't on. So apologies for everybody who had to endure that first 12 minutes with me as well. It was an absolute shit show in the chat, but I make an apology for that as well. Thanks everyone who's watching. Make sure you share the video and subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Look, I think the scary thing about Agate is I actually think he'll be able to do a good job. I mean, the scary thing is, and I'm claiming this even though it's probably been typed all over social media, the scary thing is the last thing you want is Agate being in a Man United side for the next few weeks doing okay. Because what happens then is the checkbook closes and they go, we don't need another midfielder. We've got Agate. So if Agate does well over the next few weeks, we only buy 2 midfielders. We might only buy 1. So think of it like that. That might be something to... on the other hand, let's play devil's advocate. Flip it the other way. If he plays well, maybe puts himself in the shop window as well. Do you think you saying he'll play well? I think he will play well. I think he will play well. I mean, it's Leeds. We normally beat Leeds. I'm against keeping Carrick, but I reckon we'll keep him, says Thomas Woolsey. Either way, can't wait for tonight. Feels like it's been months. I know. Very excited about this game, and obviously we do need to win it. How's it, Mark? Love the show. We need to start with intensity tonight. Love Ahmad, but I would love to have seen Mbeumo start on the right. I think he probably has an injury, Ruiza. Let's sell Agate, says Ndibwa. Ricky doesn't even have Bruno in his team, says James. And what 2LP says, what has Carrick done that's exceptional? All I see is a coach with no demands to the players will implode next season if we keep this setup. Thank you very much for your super chat, pal. You can do that through the $ if you so wish. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Well, look, it's great to have United back. That's the main thing. It's just great to have Manchester United back playing games of football. It's one thing watching football. And I have enjoyed it, but I have enjoyed watching other games, but I think that nothing's quite the same as watching your team play. Mike has gifted a membership. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And Ricky's taken in from Mark. Thank you. We don't need to delete... Sorry, I'm just trying to see what's going on here. Yeah, Gabrielle, we don't need to delete the messages about me leaving. I've sort of, you know, I can't say there's a big announcement at 10 o'clock tomorrow and then we can't censor people for having a guest. So please don't be deleting those types of comments. We need to see how we end up at end of the season, says Stephen. And Mark's big news will be tomorrow at 10 o'clock, Sean. So by all means, keep guessing. What I've said is the channel will never be the same again. And it's the biggest news we've ever announced. So 10 o'clock tomorrow, you will hear it first on our news show. Daniel Thompson says, hi Mark and the United stand. Hope we've all had a good day. Tough game for the Gold Devils, but they will be back. Hopefully a win for United tonight and one more step to Champions League. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, I think in respect to Leeds, they are in a position where they've got they're fighting for their lives. I mean, they're only 3 points off relegation themselves, so they do have they do have a difficult game, a difficult run in, and they're certainly not on the beach, but I just think United were better. And we need to go and express that tonight. Mark, if Martial and Rashford invited you over for lunch, what you doing? Come on United, says GMAC. How long do you feel waiting 23 days for a game? At least next year, Champions League is guaranteed. I can't wait till next season, And I never, ever want to be in this position again. I never want to be in a position where we're waiting 3 fucking weeks for a game of football. It's a joke. And Man United take responsibility for that. The board, not Amarim, not Carrick. The board take responsibility for that. It's a joke. This time next season, hopefully we'll still be in the Champions League. But, next season we'll have probably somewhere between 10 and 20 more games than we've had this year. And I can't wait for that. Fred says, hi Mark and the community. After 63 months, this will be my last member chat for now. I'm struggling financially. I'll stay as a sub though. Thank you very much, Fred, and all the best. Paul Dignam says, I hope Agate plays well tonight. We still need a backup till the end of the season. One injury in the midfield and Fernandez will go back in. I mean, I've seen some people talking about Mainu being injury prone. I think that's unfair. I don't see Mainu as injury prone. He does pick up injuries, but I don't think he's injury prone. So no, I don't think that's I don't think that's fair. And he has had a bit of an in and out season as well. So I don't think that it's. I mean, look, I'm worried about Martinez. I want Martinez to stay at the club. And I want Martinez to be successful. And I think, again, tonight we'll see his importance in the back four and his ability to bring the ball out from the back. But he's one injury. I mean, that's a player that worries me more than Mainu. I think Mainu is a 20-year-old kid who is, learning his way at the top level. And he's picked up a knock. That I think he'll be fine. Mark's getting the coaching job at United, says Microphone. And Agate has no wins in his last 7 league starts. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me the stats. Don't tell me the odds, as Han Solo says. Thanks for that, GGMU. Thanks for all your super chats that have come in, by the way. You can do that through the $sign. Please do share the video as well. We have got only 11. I tell you what, this is a long build-up to the game. Maybe I'm getting out of practice. Will, thank you very much for your super chat. I think it's Agate was bad against Bournemouth. I mean, look, we don't need to focus too much on the situation with Agate, because I think it has to happen. I mean, we haven't got anybody else. If Mainu gets injured, we haven't got anybody else, have we? So I think it is what it is. Just wanted to say thanks for everything, says Gaz. Thank you very much for your super chat, pal. Really appreciate you. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat here. Steve Woodley says, we love you, Mark. Please don't leave us. Mark's going to Real Madrid. Yeah, the Real Madrid stand. You've guessed it. Can't wait to see Martinez back in. Take away. Look, I'm very happy, as John Stewart, one of our members, says, take away Sesko heroics and opponents' red cards, and Carrick is not in the discussion. I mean, I don't really want to talk about Carrick. I think he has been helped by Sesko. I do want to talk about Sesko. I think Sesko starting games for Manchester United is so important. And I really, really am happy that he's starting games, because I think he deserves to start games of football. So, and he has been absolutely perfect perfect for United when we've utilised him in the right way. So I think starting him from the start is a huge huge thing for us. So yeah, very happy with that. When Agate starts, we usually don't get the result we want, says Kyle. I mean, the bigger problem is when you look at United's bench. When you look at United's bench, if Casemiro or Agate end up tired or struggling, we don't actually have a midfielder. Our bench is Biinda, Delo, Fletcher, Heaven, Lacey, Malacia, Mbeumo, Mount, and Xerxes. I mean, Fletcher isn't really what I would call a midfield option, is he? So, look, let's hopefully get ourselves into a position where we don't need to be utilising our bench for Agate or Casemiro, because I think those two are all we've got in that midfield at the moment. Score prediction, I've gone 4-0 to Man United because I tend to think that we tend to smash Leeds. Obviously, ironically, it was the last game for Amrim's last game, wasn't it? Was the 1-1 draw. So, yeah, I remember it well. I don't actually. Will, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you so much for getting your badge in. Here's to United stand streaming Premier League games, says Michael. Oh, you've guessed it. What do you think about Ahmad instead? I'm joking. What do you think about Ahmad instead of Mbeumo? I mean, I wouldn't agree with it, but I think Mbeumo is a player that I would have started over Ahmad, but he did have a bit of a knock in the international break. Hopefully they put crosses in for Sesko, says one and only. Yes, I think this is a great point, and we desperately do need to do that. If we lose any more midfielders, stick Martinez in the midfield. He can do a job. Not long term, but a match or two. Good point, Mike. Thanks for your super chat. Ryan says, excited to see Mazraoui, Yoro and Martinez. Also good to see Sesko starting. Big game today, so glad to be back after the long break. Welcome back, Ryan, if you've had a break from us. Thank you very much. Yeah, look, I think with regards to the starting lineup, I actually quite like it. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to see Sesko in the team. We get Mazraoui instead of Delo. Obviously, Agate in the midfield is not ideal, but we have an injury, so that's a tough one. Since his debut for the first team, let's have a look at this. This is a super chat from VVS. He says, since his debut for the first team, he's missed approximately 42 out of 127 games due to some sort of injury. Love the lad, but he's injury prone, unfortunately. Is this Martinez or Mainu? And also, I think if you are talking about Mainu, how many of those games have been missed because he was dropped? Or is it just injury? Mark, reject the $1 million Sky Sports offer. This community is where you belong, says Ron. Ahmad will score. You heard it here first, says Smith. I hope you're bloody right, Smick. I hope you are right. Vinny, the latest new member of the Members Club. Thanks for getting your badge in. Joel says squad depth is lacking. I feel we'll run ourselves down with a win and struggle heavily against Chelsea with only 4 days of recovery. Excited to see Delo on the bench, says Doc. And I've been here for donkey's years, says Acid. I know Ricky has his opinions, but does he have a TalkSport earpiece? Bruno not in his combined 11 is beyond crazy. And David says, come on United, chance to go 10 points clear of 6th place Chelsea. Got to close the window on the Champions League spot now. Well done, mates. Evening, Mark. Hope you're well. Enjoy the game. Come on United, says Leon. And here's to United stand. I've done that one from Michael. Thank you very much. I hate United, but this club is immortal, says Geek. Thank you very much for that. Right, we're only about 5 minutes to go. Man United players in the tunnel for the first time in ages. We're very excited. I'm very excited. I hope you're all excited. United back playing games of football is what it's all about. And we are ready to go. Bruno to lead them out. I think I'm going to stand up. Yeah, I am going to stand up, actually. What number is it? 2. La 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 la. And everything I did was la 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 la. Oh, oh, oh. I hate United, but this club is immortal, says Geek. I wonder who you do support. Right, please do share the video, everybody. We are back. We've got nearly 20,000 watching. Monday night football. Always an absolutely terrible time to be back playing football because everyone else has done theirs. But we are back, and we're back on Saturday as well. So we get 2 games in 6 days. Mark's humming Enya. Well, fair play. Fair play for knowing I'm humming Enya. I'm humming Enya. I'm glad I said her. That could, I mean, yeah, anyway, we'll leave that. Apparently she's a recluse and lives in a castle with loads of cats. I like Enya's music, but yeah, I'm humming Enya. The announcement is Sir Jim bought United stand. Everyone, including Mark, is getting laid off, says Move Maniac. Can't wait for this. I've got a, yes, David, thank you very much. Okay, so we're very close to the start of the game. Yeah, I want to see a good start. I think it's really important that we see a good start tonight with everything that we've seen from, you know, I think Michael Carrick's going to get the job. What I want to see from Carrick now is some good football. I think if we can see that, then, you know, we've got a, you know, at least we've got something to look forward to next season, in the sense that he might be able to get us playing some good football. Because I think the results have been fantastic, and I understand why some people want to follow those results. I really, really do. But for me, I want to see a vision, and I want to see some, you know, performance as well. Score predictions in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from as well. We've had another super chat from Mike. He says, just saying, if they'd bothered to get a midfielder last summer or January, we wouldn't be short of midfielders. We need 3 to 4 midfielders going forward, says Mike. Another super chat here. Sorry, it's all over the place here. Having a Laugh's just gifted a membership. Let's hope we can break the Agate spell then. Apparently, we haven't won a game in 7 that he's been on the pitch at the end or something like that. Enya was the clue. Mark's bought a castle and all future watch-alongs will be from a turret, says Nick. How has somebody guessed this? Vinny says, go on, Mark. Give us a clue about tomorrow's announcement. I'm buzzing. 10 o'clock show tomorrow. I think it will be a very viewed show. Literally, I think it will. Can't wait for this, says David. Right, we're ready to go. We are ready to go. I've got my timer ready. Daniel Fark shakes hands with Carrick. It'd be nice to win 3 or 4-0. I'm going to stick with 4-0. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to say 4-0. Yeah. Come on then, ref. Let's get going. Let's see a quick start from United. And we're up and running. There we go. Welcome back. Welcome. I might be slightly off there. Luke Shaw on the ball. Oh, it's good to be standing up as well. I do like standing up watching football. Nice bit of possession from United. How will Leeds set up, Mark? 4-5-1. Yeah, they'll be compact in the middle. Low block. Probably the best approach they can play, to be honest. Ooh, Mazraoui there. He's got to be careful. We don't want to picking up any yellow cards here. it's so good to be back. I hope you're enjoying it. It's just different when it's your club. Yeah, we've got to get some crosses into the box. When you've got someone like Sesko, you've got to get up the pitch and put some crosses in. And yeah, I think it's very important that we do that. Bruno's going to break the assist record today, says James. Nice ball by Agate. Actually, it was shit. For Mainu and all injuries, not selection issues, says VBS. Okay, so VBS says that there has actually been quite a lot of injuries for Mainu. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's something in that. I mean, I've got to be honest. I'm very defensive of Mainu. I said, a lot of people said he'd lost a yard of pace. And I said, how does a 19-year-old lose a yard of pace? But he does look a little bit slower, which I do agree with. Oh, what a save by Le Mans. What a save by Le Mans. He's done it again. We should be 1-0 down. Absolutely brilliant cross by Leeds. It's across the 6-yard box, and I don't know how he's done it. I don't know how he saved that. I just don't know how he saved that. Cross right across the 6-yard box, dead central. Calvert-Lewin just to slide it in. It's an absolute sitter missed, but a great save by the keeper. Absolutely brilliant save. I think there was an offside. He's given an offside anyway. Thank God for that. Having a Laugh's gifted a membership. Evening Mark, Monday night under lights. Come on United, says Ben. Bruno's going to break the assist record, says James. Thank you very much to VVS. Happy birthday to me. 66 on Thursday, says Andy. Heard we might get Pulisic, says Alex. I've played the game, says Prometheus. Looking sharp in that shirt, Mark. Go United, says Marlow. Yeah, I'm the only thing looking sharp in a Gold Devil shirt tonight. Oh, don't do this to me. Remember this happened before? It's gone off. It has. It's literally, you can't do this to me. Oh my Christ. You're having a laugh. Three and a half weeks I've waited for this. 3.5 weeks I've waited for this and it goes off after 5 minutes. You're taking the piss, Sky. You're taking the absolute piss. Oh, it's back. Back. Sorry. Oh, they've scored as well. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off! I want it to go off again! I want to lose connection again! I can't believe it! Why does it mock me? Why is it mocking me? The connection goes down, it comes back and they bloody score! I can't fucking believe it! Oh, don't! 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 Yoro gets the header. Mazraoui's got to do better there, to be honest. I always said Delo was better. Okafor 1-0 to Leeds. Well, it's a good start. We've started off well. I need to take this bloody shirt off. If you know, you know. I mean, to be fair, they nearly scored a couple of minutes before that with Calvert-Lewin, and they have scored there. Agate's first touch on the ball was scary, says Marlow. 2 huge chances after 4 minutes. Yep. Monday Night Football with Goldbridge and this unbelievable community, says Andre. I bet you want to retract that now. And if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say you're breaking from the United stand to form your own solo reaction channel, says Robbo. Thank you very much. Look, you can't be saying Carrick out as much as you can't be saying Carrick in just because we're losing 1-0. There's a long way to go. Happy birthday to Rob Dobson. Oh my God, Le Mans getting caught with the ball as well. This is a terrible start from Man United. I don't think Yoro... No, I'd have to see that goal again. I don't think that's Yoro's fault. Yoro wins the header. I mean, he gets his... You know, Maguire would head that. It's just where it flicks to. I don't know whether... I mean, I'd have to see it again, but I suspect the... Well, there's a long way to go. Sometimes you can score too early. I suspect there was problems in the build-up. I mean, the cross came from Luke Shaw's side, didn't it? As well. Mazraoui needs to be closer to Okafor. Spurs will be shitting their pants now, says Donuts. Yeah, I don't give a toss about Spurs. I care about Man United. But Spurs would be 6. Yeah, Leeds would be 6 points from safety. Yoro got fouled, apparently. Elbow by Calvert-Lewin. Well, we'll have to have a look at that. Oh, Agarte's getting run off so much. And that's a foul. He's not giving it. And he's giving us the foul. I think we got away with it there. I thought that was there. Mazraoui started abysmal, says Robert McCormack. Rather they score early on. Long way to go. Confident we'll get the win, says George. Grand Prairie, thanks for your super chat. Oh, Justin just caught Casemiro a little bit late there. Match fitness after 3 weeks is low, you can see, says Pedge. Yeah, but Leeds haven't played for 3 weeks either. Robert says Mazraoui started abysmal. He did. I called that out. Look, you need to chill out in the chat. I know we haven't had a United game for 3.5 weeks, but losing 1-0 to Leeds after 8 minutes doesn't mean we're out of Europe, and it doesn't mean we're even going to lose the game. There's a long way to go. And as we know with United, we normally do score 2 goals. It's just, as I said at the start of the game, I did worry about our midfield getting overrun with Agarte and Casemiro in it. And Leeds don't score many goals, but are quite competitive. Dan says Casemiro would have got a red card for that. Waiting 3 weeks just to concede in 5 minutes is 1 and only 13. Leach the vegan butcher needs to go in the summer, says Sir Gareth Southgate. The more time Carrick gets on the training pitch, the worse we look, says Marlowe. And Luke Walsh says, why does it look like they've got 3 extra players? Because they've set up quite intelligently. As I said, they've set up in a 4-5-1 and they're absolutely swamping us in the midfield with high energy. Ewan says, today's my 18th birthday. Happy birthday, mate. And Mark, legitimate question here. Why are we so poor when starting a game? Still believe we can win, but it's constant, says Mike. This is better from United. It's a good ball by Bruno, but good coverage by the Leeds defender, and they pop it out for a throw-in. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. We've got 31,000 watching. Please do share the video. Welcome back to the biggest and best Manchester United fan community in the world. The biggest football community in the world, actually, if we're being honest. Gary Neville's talking shit, says Ishmael. I can't comment unless I know what it is. Bit better by United, and both bits are better coming from Bruno, but they're playing with some confidence here, Leeds. That's Cunha. Got to get Cunha in the game as well. Didn't know Leeds always had an intense training camp. Also had an intense training camp in Ireland, says Wackass. Problem is that we're probably going to have another bad performance, but hopefully get the win, says Rivero. We're a bit predictable in these first few minutes as well. Every ball is just trying to get in behind. As I said, what is Man United's style of play? Like, we've been very successful living off Bruno, Casemiro and that ball in behind. And there it is again, into Ahmad. And it works this time. And it's a good shot. But I mean, but to be honest, that's pretty much what we're doing. Long ball. And it works, but I mean, it's bad defending by Leeds because Ahmad could have been in there. We won't win with Ugarte on the pitch. Imagine Newcastle wanting to replace Tonali with him in the summer, says 1 Inch Wonder. Seems to me that the bottom table is our bogey teams. Dublin obviously didn't help this time. Seems Carrick was trying to find his Irish roots, says Slow Sports News. Is Carrick not just another Ollie in disguise? Look, I don't want Carrick to get the job, but I do find some of these comments incredible considering we've only had 10 minutes and we could still end up winning this game 4-1. Is Ahmad. Just need to settle down here. We've got the home crowd. There's a long way to go. You know, sometimes we've been in games like this and a red card helps us out as well. So there's a long way to go. Bailey says, did you hear that Ronnie Pickering passed away? I don't know whether if Ronnie Pickering did pass away or not. Gold Devils Ultra says, we missed you today, mate. Hope you also like the Gold Devils fan page post, though I thought we should have been better attacking-wise, but we go again next week. Yeah, I mean, look, I take responsibility for not being there. It was an absolute shit show of a performance. I know there was a lot of banging and crashing and kicking of doors after the game, which is great to hear, because it was a shocking performance. And look, we've got to be better in Liverpool next week. We're just stuck in that rut. We seem to have a good win, and then the following week, we just don't follow it up. Rollercoaster FC, you know. But we've got to be better next week. And it's the transfer window tomorrow, so I think we might have to do some transfers. I think we've got to go into the transfer market. Ugarte can't pass, says Bradders. Why do you think United have started like this? Because because we've started like this most games. Niki says, just tuned in. What is this team? Well, Mainu's injured, so Ugarte's starting. I think Mbeumo's carrying a knock, so Ahmad's starting. And Mazraoui is obviously over Delo. Maguire is suspended. So, Aggie Jason, thanks for your super chat. Thanks for all the super chats coming in. If you want to do one of those, we'll read it out, of course. Corner to United. This could be big. This is United, isn't it? I'm a Geordie, and even disregarding this game, the situation at Man United seems like it has no good ending, says Will. Isn't Ugarte just another Fred? Probably worse, says River. Well, you said it. Can United just win, says Ace. It's my birthday tomorrow. And the great thing about United, the great thing about football and being a United fan is we can be absolutely shit. But if you get a corner, we're so good at corners. Over the bar. But we did win a header, Yoro. Signing Carrick was a mistake, says Harry. Well, we will get Champions League football. Grand Prairie Cobra's on the whiskey already. Toulon says, I'm starting to think that Man United struggle with any midweek game. And Adhawk says, I'm sorry, I like Ahmad, but he gives me Lingard vibes. No, not confident he's an elite player. Cyber Spider, hold on a minute, Leeds are on the attack. Cyber Spider said, would I be a bad person if I want my dad to be sad on his birthday? He's a Leeds supporter. Carrick clearly didn't train during time off. No change here, says Cyber Spider. Well, it's another good cross by Leeds. Good defending there by Luke Shaw. Think I'd say that. Right, we need to break here. Ahmad. It's a lovely ball into Sesko. He's got to get a shot off. Good break there. Ahmad did really well. I would have fancied Sesko to get a shot off, but he didn't quite do it. Tenza says, isn't Dorgu supposed to be back? Not yet. Grand Prairie says, change the kit, Mark. It's bad luck. I could change the kit. Yeah, don't forget tomorrow at 10 o'clock on our 10 o'clock show, the biggest announcement we've ever made in 10 years doing this channel. Is booking Cunha for diving. What? Oh, you Taylor in disguise. I mean, to me, this looks like a foul. I mean, it's hardly a dive, is it? I don't think that's. I don't think you can book that for diving. Ollie did well in the new era. I really don't understand the vitriol towards him, says Bins. What crap is that from Sesko, says Marlowe. Can we all chip in to pay off Agate's contract, says 1 Inch Wonder. Good to be back watching United, although this is rough, says Snoopy10. The light switch is actually a dimmer, and the dimmer has been turning down for weeks, says Not Prepared. Thank you very much. And don't want United to lose, but Leeds winning helps Spurs get relegated, says James. A lot of people in the chat saying it was a dive. I think it was inconclusive. You know what? If you want a bit of analysis, the tactical setup is Ahmad, shoot. Oh, shit shot. The tactical setup is a little bit slow. There's not a lot of tempo. I mean, this works quite well because Mazraoui makes the diagonal, which opens up the space for Ahmad. So that's quite an intelligent run by Mazraoui. Ahmad's only ever going to shoot. Feels a little bit Anthony, Garnacho, Rashford-esque that from Ahmad, and we don't want to be like that really. But we're struggling to compose ourselves here, and that's he's got to make that. Yoro, well done. What's the statistics in this game? I don't know because I don't have a statistics panel. Oh, I do. Here it is. Yeah, it's a very equal on possession. I mean, it's too similar to a lot of our games this season, where we're basically in a fist fight. You know, 50-50. You throw a punch, we'll throw a punch, and I think at some point you would hope that we'll transition away from that. Can you explain why we're so bad at finishing, says Marlowe? And, well, I can't. I mean, I can't. I think it's a lack of confidence, maybe. I think we're talking about Ahmad there, aren't we? We can't afford such long breaks, clearly, says Anshul. And Mark, the perfect nickname for Sir Jim has been under your nose, Pratcliffe, says Jacob. If Yoro fails and grabs his face, it's disallowed. Falls. I'd like to look at that at half-time, Daniel. I mean, hopefully we won't be scrutinising it too much at half-time. We'll be back in the game. So we're going to give it to Carrick now, says Ankit. It feels like Carrick used Amrim's work in training in the first few weeks and now dropped the intensity is abysmal, says Ankit. Well, the thing is, the worst scenario in this game at the moment is that it might be very early for Leeds to sit in, but they've got the goal. They've got the goal. And if I was the manager of Leeds, I'd say, right, The plan was to be 4-5-1 anyway. Let's stay 4-5-1 and compact and hit them on the break. They're getting in down this... they're getting in down our flanks a lot. Which is strange, because I would have thought... They're getting in down the left-hand side a lot. And I would have thought Mazraoui and Ahmad, being as Ahmad played as a wing-back under Amrim and Mazraoui's the better defender, I would have thought that would be our stronger side. But they're getting in down that side a lot. Fletcher for Agate immediately, says Milo. Strong tackle on Bruno, that. Okafor. They're just better on the ball, Leeds. Again, we're playing a team that's just better than us on the ball. Oh God, they've got an overload here on the far side. Justin, corner. They're just playing better than us. They're quicker than us. Their passing's crisper than us. And this is going to be the problem no matter who the manager is. This inability to turn up. And you can't blame Amrim, and you can't blame Carrick, and you can't blame Ten Hag, and you can't blame Ranić, and you can't blame Ollie, and you can't blame Jose. This has been going on for 13 years. We never know what we're going to get. We don't, do we? We don't know what we're going to get. It's always a guess. And for 23 minutes, Leeds have been better than us. More intense, more up for it. And I don't buy that. Oh, they're in a relegation battle. Yeah, we're trying to get in the bloody Champions League, you know? They just got Calvert-Lewin for the same foul on Casemiro. The only difference is that Casemiro sold the foul. Yoro needed to be a little smarter and hit the deck, says Daniel. Marlowe says, we're so bad, no structure. No system. That's weak by Mazraoui. He's having a bad game, Mazraoui. I mean, I do think he's better than Delo, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's off after. That needs to go into Cunha. Go on, have a shot. Ahmad trips up over his own pass. Leeds wing-backs are schooling Shaw and Mazraoui, says Marlowe. Why are our fans so obsessed with Spurs getting relegated? They've never been our rivals. Yeah, I couldn't give a shit about Spurs getting relegated, Yaz. There's no positive in losing to Leeds. We're rusty. Second half will be ours, says Savage. But would Leeds not be rusty? I mean, oh no, Leeds played on Monday night, didn't they? Fair. That's a good point, actually. I'd never even thought about that. Leeds did play on Monday night in the FA Cup, so they will have a little bit more sharpness. They knocked out West Ham, didn't they? Well, look, I watched Fulham-Liverpool on Saturday night, and Liverpool have played 2 games in the week before Fulham. Fulham hadn't played for 3.5 weeks, and I thought Fulham were like a pre-season game. They were really rusty. So, yeah, hopefully there's something in. Oh, Luke Shaw, you bloody idiot! Could have been booked there. Mark, the football's not good enough. 24 days off, and this is how we play. There's no way we can give it to Carrick. I mean, they've just gone to Carrick there. I don't think that's a Man United manager there. I think he will get the job. But when the cameras go to Carrick, I don't see this guy that's going to take us back to the top. I think he's just a nice guy. I think he's an intelligent guy, but I don't think he's going to be the guy. Even if we come back and win this game, in the long term, I just don't think he's going to be that guy. And not, maybe I'll change my mind at some point, but You can't just follow results. You've got to follow performance. You've got to follow vision, you know? Stig says, once again, the United players' mindset is horrible. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. We'll read those out. I'm just going to the normal chat here. How can they be this rusty? Says Joshua. Who is going to be that guy? Says Ain. Well, I think that's the problem, isn't it? There is no guy. I said this on the 8 o'clock show last night. I feel like Carrick is the only choice, which is a bad reflection on the board. It's meant to be a best in class, and it's more like an only choice. That Tanaka's a good player, you know. I don't know whether he's going to the World Cup for Japan, but he's a good player. Okafor, Justin. Oh, he's behind you. Fucking hell. Calvert-Lewin there. There was an offside. Bloody hell. Lucky Liverpool and Chelsea are cheek, says Lewis. I know we have injuries, but this midfield pairing is wrong, says having a laugh. There's nobody else, though. Eden says Carrick out, Postecoglou in, Robertson and Savino in. Brian says, don't worry, because we've re-signed Maguire. I wasn't shouting it's behind you to Calvert-Lewin. I was saying it to Martinez. I was like, there was going to be this comedy moment. Oh, look at them picking up the second ball. I mean, this Tanaka is running our midfield at the moment. Here's Bruno. Oh, he gets, that's a tackle. I don't think that was a foul on Bruno. It looked like he won the ball. Justin with the cross. Oh, Yoro did well there. Give him a clap. Calvert-Lewin's offside. Get your flag up. Oh no! Get your fucking flag up, ref! Get your flag up! Calvert-Lewin was offside! The ball was going to him and he was offside. Get your fucking flag up. Throw one of them yellow things in like on bloody Baller League. Throw it in. Throw it in. Calvert-Lewin's offside. The ball goes into him and he's offside. I'm telling you. He's off fucking side. He's offside. I'm telling you. Throw the yellow thing in. Watch this. Cross comes in. There. Look at Calvert-Lewin. Leeds win the ball. Not this. Here. Watch. Cross comes in. Calvert-Lewin's offside. He's active. He's active on that cross. And, you know, why are we not closing down that shot? Casemiro here. Why is he not closing down Okafor? It's like bloody volleyball. Look at Agate and Casemiro there. They should be busting their bloody nuts off to get to that. It won't be given as offside. Midfield's crap. You may as well have me and Robbie in the midfield. Pick a card. Fucking hell. I tell you what, if we don't get back into this game, I'm suddenly worried about Chelsea on Saturday. Marlowe says, again, our passing accuracy is piss poor and no chances created. Our players are sleeping. Sack Ollie's understudy now. Another corner. We might get back into it with corners. Agate showing exactly why he's not picked, says Dig. Wishing the week's away for this shit, says Donut. News tomorrow. Every future watch along from Old Trafford, says Tab. This is absolutely shocking. I'm speechless, says Jacob. Well, look. We've been absolutely shit, but we might get back into it from set pieces. It's a good corner. That's a free kick. Ahmed, thanks for being a member for 30 months. Don't worry, Arteta will be available soon, says Alexander. Shaken by how shit Shaw is, says Deck. We're trying too many risky passes, says Odd. And I have a lot of respect for Carrick, but he is not on the level that is required, says Midri. Agate is the worst midfielder I've ever seen, says Stig. And we should have played a friendly in these 3 weeks. We're still on the beach, says Fairway 5. And I hate it when we go down. We completely run out of ideas, says Give It, Tom. Yeah, well, the dangerous thing here is if we can't get one back, Leeds obviously are in a relegation battle and they're 2-0 up against United. I mean, they're not going to lose focus, are they? Casemiro, Sleeping Beauty, says Rish. Waiting 3 weeks for this, says LSD. Can we see Amorim insisted with Bruno at 8? They're in again here. Calvert-Lewin. Oh, good defending by... Is that Mazraoui? Yeah. And it's a free kick to Leeds. If we're not careful, it will be 3 or 4-0, says Glenn Castle. Need to study what we did while we were off, says Love Hate Games. And we've played crap for weeks, but managed to scam last-minute wins, says Neman. Mate, look, you get called negative, right? Because there's people on the bloody payroll, right? We have factually played shit since Arsenal and Man City. Spurs, we beat them because they went down to 10 men. West Ham, we got a draw because of Sesko. Everton, we didn't play very well, but we played one good move. Newcastle, we lost to 10 men. Palace, we were shit until they had a man sent off. Villa were probably going to beat us and Bruno pulled off a worldie. We just haven't played well for a very long time. And this is what I mean when people say Carrick's been exceptional. I think the results have been exceptional. I don't think the performances have. It will be 4 goals, but for Leeds, Mark, says Marlowe. And they want to give Carrick the job. Wow, says Kev. Can we call time out, says Son of Uhtred. We need to get a goal back before half-time, and then we attack the Stretford end in the second half. Tony says 3 weeks for this crap. And that's going to go for a goal kick. We've played crap for weeks, but managed to scam, says Nemanja. I did that one. Need to study what we did while we were off, says Love Hate Games. Thank you very much for that. We really miss Maguire for commanding the headers, says Paul. KD says, you did predict 4-0. Sadly, wrong side this time. And Pedge says, in my opinion, Sesko has given Carrick his platform, says Pedge. Has Carrick been announced as a permanent manager? We do seem like a team with a manager today. Clueless losers, says I am. And Love Hate Games says, left back, right back, CDM striker is needed for next season and more. 7 signings we need. We need 3 midfielders, a left back, a left winger, a backup striker, and I think a centre back. And a backup goalkeeper. Pedge says, in my opinion, Sesko has given Carrick his platform. I mean, Sesko up front and no crosses. I mean, I can't explain to you how easy it is to move the ball down the wing and put a cross in the box. I can't. Another corner. We've got to score from a corner. It's our best chance. Good defending by Leeds. Cunha with the shot over the bar. Got to be careful, Cunha. Don't want to be getting any disciplinary. Luke Shaw, that's a foul on Shaw, not the other way around. Carrick, his only choice as he's free, easy to get, protects the owners, has ex-players behind him, players want him as he's a people pleaser, says Cyber Spider. And David Miller says, honestly, what we've done for 3 weeks, any intensity is gone. Agate is bad. I'd drop Bruno there and get Mbuemo on. Worrying display here, says David. He's going to have to be brave at half-time if we don't get back in 1 goal back. And I agree. You probably have got to say, we're playing a 4-5-1. You probably, admittedly, do need to go into the second half with a little bit more of an attacking mindset. Luke Shaw might put a cross in here. Dream on. Ahmad's having a stinker. Well, I wouldn't pick out on Ahmad. Anyone told the team it was Easter Monday last weekend? Looked like they've only remembered this morning that their game was on today, says Lol. This is Carrick's moment equivalent to Ollie's Watford moment when he lost 4-1, says Ankit. Ahmad, Agate, Casemiro and Shaw useless, says Daniel. Team looking lost and devoid of ideas, very poor, says Teddy. And Big Timer says, we have 2 centre midfielders who don't cover, they just sit in the middle. When opposition centre midfield drift wide, causes overload for our fullbacks. No mobility is our undoing, says Big Timer. Crap Carrick need overhaul, said Sonic and Lucy. And Emily Derry says, I would rather have gallstones than watch this rubbish right now. It's bloody painful. Maguire's just been offered a further year as well, says Robert McCormack. And Gentang says, could have bet we would lose this. We always look sluggish after international breaks. I mean, look, there are ways to get at Man United. Like, you can play a low block. Tanaka's took the piss out of Casemiro all game, by the way. He's been the best player on the pitch. He's absolutely ran the show. I mean, I'd spend £70 million on Tanaka because he actually looks a million miles better than what we've got. 3 weeks off for this, Mark. It's not good enough, says Mercury. Justin's just been booked here for a foul on Cunha. I just want to see this again. That probably was a yellow card, to be fair. I don't think he gets the ball. Yeah, yellow card's a fair result there. I don't think it's a red. I think you're getting a bit desperate in the chat. Bruno is really missing in matches like this, says Marlo. Yeah, but as I said, tactically, if I was playing against Man United and I was Leeds, I'd be like, okay, compact, back 5, midfield 4, low block, deal with crosses, and then when you get the ball, possession, intensity, and exploit the flanks because their midfielders can't come out wide. I mean, Casemiro can't drift out wide anymore. They're faster than us. Based on the performances since Carrick has been in charge, and if he somehow got the job, how would he attract best in class when we don't have a best in class manager or style of play? I think when you've got results, you're always going to be in the equation to get the manager job. But yet, this is why I've been talking about this since Amorim. You know, it's PRV, performance, results, and vision. Every manager needs to have it. And he hasn't got it. And they're in here again, Leeds. Yeah, it's performance, results, and vision. Now, Amorim didn't have the results going his way. He was drawing games, and we didn't have much of a performance, and we didn't have a lot of vision. Carrick's got results, but we still don't have performance and vision. And if you're the owner of a football club, I mean, it seems to me like the media and certain sections of our fan base are saying, we can't not give it to Carrick. We can't not give it to Carrick. We can. We can all point at the performances and say they weren't good enough. He's got to get the team playing better if he wants to get the job, in my opinion. Ray says, do not ever compare your ownership to Chelsea's. Half our squad genuinely wouldn't look out of place in the championships, as Ray. Get rid of Carrick as why we are losing to Leeds and too many draws, says Bailey. Talk of the Devils podcast. Mount is also a pivot midfield option, says Ra. Yeah, and I'm a goalkeeping option if Le Mans gets injured. I wonder why we're so bad tonight, says JBS. Based on the performances since Carrick has been in charge, and if he somehow got the job, how could have done that one from Jack? Thank you. Well, thanks everyone who's tuning in. We've got 40,000 watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Yeah, Garte's not up to it. I mean, that's not rocket science. That's the problem, Steve Holland. That's what you get when you bring Southgate's right-hand man in. Don't come complaining to me. I told you. I got loads of shit for it. Oh, Goldbridge is negative. I told you. Study football like I do. Steve Holland's style of football is never going to be the style of football that you want to see at Man United. Good tackle, Luke Shaw. I tell you what, if this leads to a goal, Ricky will never shut up about that tackle and pass by Luke Shaw. Ricky's smugness depends on this, although United have basically slowed that down now. Maybe it's not going to lead to a goal. I think Maguire will be back against Chelsea with Martinez. Yeah, I think Yoro will go to the bench. Marlowe says, Ollie was all vibes. Carrick isn't even that. Doesn't this speak to Carrick being out of his depth for a club like United? He has no answer for games like this, always reliant on the counter, says Alec. And this proves why Maguire has a new contract, says Jack. How is it possible for every player to be this bad, says Carricky. And he's a puppet to our Muppet Wilcox. There's no other manager that fits those parameters. I don't want Carrick. I want best in class, says Cyber Spider. Cunha has the same body language as Bruno. Says hi-fi. Thank you very much. 2 minutes to go to half-time. We desperately do need a goal. Another corner. Come on. Come on. We need a goal. We need a goal. Just get one back and then unleash hell in the second half. Should have gone to Baller League, Mark, says Bailey. I'm glad I didn't. Although we wouldn't have played like that if I'd have been there. Our corners haven't been very good either, have they? Shoot, Mazraoui! Don't shoot, Mazraoui! Mike says, we haven't been good for ages. In fact, we've been poor. Results and performances, two different things. It's been awful. Carrick is not the man to lead us to next season, says Mike. Swap Agate and Bruno and bring on Mbeumo, says anything. I actually would do that. I don't like Bruno in the midfield, but I would. Agate price has dropped by 5 more million, says S Folds. I beg United keep Carrick. Total idiots if they keep him, says Max. Always knew he was going to struggle in this game. We're not playing for 24 days. What a stop. What a stop by Martinez. I cannot. That has to be something. It should be 3-0 to Leeds, and Martinez has just cleared it off the line. It should have been 3. Martinez has just pulled off a worldie there. I mean, what we're doing. I mean, we should be 3-0 down. Martinez has just cleared one off the line. No word of a lie, it wouldn't be an injustice for United to be 3-0 down at half-time. And we nearly were. They nearly scored from a corner as well. I mean, we are definitely second best here. Come on, one before half-time. We are Moments FC again, says Dale. I thought Steve Holland was the best. Yeah, right, says only Michael. We always seem to lose when Agate plays, says Johnny. Agate is the worst midfielder I've seen at United, and I've been watching them for 35 years, says Paul. Bruno and Cunha don't look interested, says Marlowe. Thank you very much. Carrick looks absolutely out of his depth here. What would I do at half-time? I probably would put Bruno in the midfield. I would put Cunha at 10 and put Ahmad on the left and Mbeumo on the right. Yeah, I'd try and get Bruno in the game more deeper. Our whole team is in an absolute rotten state, says Lee, except Sesko because he's getting no service. I've turned it off. I've waited weeks for this, says Ross. And by far our worst 45 minutes under Carrick, says Robert. Why on earth is Yoro still on the pitch, says Magic Mike? Just get Rashi back from Barcelona and hit the diagonals, says Trav. It's probably what he's thinking. Neville talking about taking Agate off, dropping Bruno back and putting Mbuemo on. Goal kick. Half time. Bloody hell. Well, I think it's going to be a very lively half-time chat. Look, Man United could still get a draw here. I would say that. I'm not saying that won't happen. But what I would say is, Sean, thank you very much for being a member for 13 months. Appreciate you. I'll come back to those super chats in a minute. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Remember, tomorrow morning on our 10 o'clock news show, we are about to announce something, the biggest thing we've ever announced in 10 years doing this. I'm scared. Yeah, but look, that's for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're here to talk about Man United now. I think that basically what I would say, hand on heart, is this has always been my fear with giving the job to Michael Carrick and, more importantly, Steve Holland. I just don't think I'm wrong on this. I really don't think I'm wrong on what I'm about to say. And I've been called negative, a hater, having an agenda. And the reality is, Michael Carrick is one of the most underrated players in my time supporting Man United. He's a fantastic player, and I'm sure he's a fantastic human being. But you cannot tell me that Wilcox sacked Amorim and then happened to be the luckiest guy in the world that he found 4 available coaches that nobody else wanted. I've never trusted that coaching setup. And I haven't trusted it for 2 months. I think we've been getting by on moments from people like Harry Maguire, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Sesko. I don't think we've played good football for 2 months. I think there is a huge movement in the media to give Carrick the job because it's an ex-player and he's British. There are ex-players like Rio Ferdinand doing the same thing. And some of our fans have fallen for it as well. And what has been quite average performances for 2 months have been reclassified as sensational and exceptional. And I watch all the games with you, and the results have been very, very good. And it's great that we've got a great chance of getting in the Champions League. But these performances have already been there. That shouldn't be a shock for anybody. We weren't very good against Bournemouth. We weren't very good against Newcastle. We only beat Villa because they played 3 days before on a Thursday night, and Bruno got a great assist. We actually haven't been playing good football for a long time. So anybody coming into this chat at half-time saying, I can't believe it, I can't believe it. Where are all the people telling us that Carrick should get the job because the football's great? I want to hear from you. Because it never was great. And the reason it's not great is because Steve Holland is a boring coach. He was a boring coach under Southgate for England for about 8 years, and he's a boring coach here. And if you want this, I believe we will still get Champions League football, but I think, and we might even draw this game. We might even win this game. Listen to me. We might win this game. But remember this. You're going to get this every week next year. This style of football for the next 3 years. Be careful what you wish for, because results in the long term will not beat performance and vision. And we have no performance and no vision. The style of football is hit it long and try and get in behind or score from a corner. That's all we've done all half. Looking for balls in behind for Cunha and Ahmad. We put no crosses into the box for Sesko at all. The fullbacks aren't getting forward to put crosses in. We're not moving up the pitch with the ball. We can't break their low block. We're just trying to hit a long ball or win a corner and try and scam a goal that way. And the problem with United is when we go behind. When we go behind, it becomes problematic. And it's going to be very interesting in the second half what they do tactically. Because Leeds aren't Bournemouth and they're not Brighton. They won't stick to their principles of leaving large spaces and a high line. Leeds will keep playing a 4-5-1 and countering us. So we're going to have to play intelligently and start putting some crosses into the box. The way back into this game is to get your fullbacks or Bruno out wide and put crosses in the box to Sesko. That's what we've got to do. So look, I hope United can get back into it. I think we can get back into it. But Leeds have had 10 shots to our 6. They've had 5 on target to our 2. They've got an XG of 2 to our 0.19. And they've had nearly 50% possession. So I think that it's a shockingly bad performance from Man United. But all those people who have concerns about giving the job to Carrick and Steve Holland, I think you're justified. It's exactly my concerns. We're Manchester United. And for 45... I mean, look, it should be 3-0. It should be 3-0. Martinez has made an amazing stop on the line. We should be losing 3-0. So I think that there are some big issues here. There are some very big issues here with United, and we need to be highlighting them, certainly. Sorry, I just lost the live chat there. Let's get into some of your comments. What subs would you make? I'd probably take Agate off and put Bruno into the midfield, but that is risky if they keep breaking on us. Mark needs to be banned from making predictions, says Mohammed. Carrick being found out before getting the job, says United. I find it ironic Leeds playing an Amrim system with players who know how to keep it are playing us off the park. We are bad from board to the field, says Gar. Only the Glazers can save us from Wilcox, says Keel. I rate Yoros, but he's been rubbish and lacking confidence today, says Sice. This, unfortunately, is why Sesko is better off the bench. Not his fault. Whenever he starts, we don't put crosses in. You're right, Lee. Yoro is a disgrace. He'll never be good enough, says Jack. What 3 weeks of partying does to the squad, says SK. If this was Ruben, people would want him sacked at half-time, says Sashi. Flash fucking news. If you have a 3-week break, you should maybe spend it on the pitch and touch the ball once. PS, after 45 years, Leeds may win at our home. Says Naveen. Who in the world didn't see this coming? I don't want Champions League football because we will become mediocre FC with another shit manager and finish 10th, says Andreas. Raz says it's so poetic. We did nothing for 3 weeks. We didn't speak with any manager or player. Extended Maguire first game when we get destroyed at home, says Raz. It is only half time, but you're right. We should have been doing stuff on. We should have. You know what? Here's an idea. We should have had a couple of fucking friendlies as well. Leeds have had 10 shots in one half against United with a manager who's supposed to help us challenge for titles. Terrible performance, says Ashish. Agate is like a new build pro clubs player, says Dave. That 45 minutes from Yoro is one of the worst I've seen from a centre-back. Nowhere near good enough, says Tong. That was the worst half of football I've seen for a long time. Love Yoro, but he struggled and Agate has been poor. Hey, mate, look, I agree Agate has been poor. I agree Yoro has been poor. Casemiro's been crap. Bruno's been crap. Cunha's been crap. Ahmad's been crap. Mazraoui's not been much better. Shaw's been crap. So let's spread the crap here. You're right, Agate and Yoro haven't been good, but you can carry those performances if everyone else steps up to the plate. Shaw's been shit. Cunha's been shit. Bruno's been shit. Casemiro's been shit. Ahmad's been shit. So let's spread it out, you know, absolutely. What is Yoro doing? Absolutely disgusting, says Mandalorian. We need a manager who shows some passion. Standing on the touchline like a statue. I miss Amrim, says Melvin. I'm sure this will turn around when we built a new stadium, says Johnny. And how is this a manager issue? You're lost. We rattled, says 271. Can you change your shirt for the sake of it, says Yusuf. And Mark C says, we're getting a glimpse of what we are in for next season if we don't strengthen in the transfer window. Keel Robinson says, as I said, Joey Barton FC, whatever that means. The players passed the ball better under Amrim, says Colin. We were more intense under Amrim as well, but the results weren't there. Who do you think is the best youngster in the Premier League, says George? I don't think it really matters at this point. And Big Stepper says, might be the worst 45 minutes of football I've seen in a while. Goes to show that we need a world-class manager and not an interim that has done well based on moments that happen to win games. Agate's making JJ cry. And is Agate worse than the grey kit curse of 96, says Doc Robotnik. And that's probably the worst I've seen us play under Carrick. The team looks totally unbalanced, says Steve Howard. And had it not been for you and the United Stand, I would have given up on United and watching games ages ago. Still wonder why I watch, says Amrit. And I'm getting married end of the year, says Amit. There's some good news. And congratulations. And what am I watching? Waste of time after a 4-week layoff, says Alonso. No disrespect, but this should be the biggest alarm bell for the board. If this is versus Leeds, then how will we do in the Champions League, says Ryle. And let's be honest, we're not coming back from this as one and only. Like if Agate starts in an all-time worst United 11, says Marble. And why haven't we played any behind closed doors friendlies, says Irfan. Great point. I also think this team will benefit more playing more than one game a week, says James. And basically waited a month for this, says Ben. I think today is just being lazy. And what does Luke Shaw offer this team, says Michael. That was from JBS. And Lee says they were rightly booed off at half-time. That was terrible. Well, the reality is sometimes you're losing 2-0 at half-time and it's, it's just one of those days. It could have been 3 or 4-0. Yeah, it could have been 3 or 4-0. So... Can you call Leon and Tanya Prats, please, says Rocket? As long as I can add in Shaw, Yoro, Casemiro, and a load of Man United players, yeah. This is why the summer transfer window is so important. We need a lot more squad depth, especially if we get Champions League football, says Brian. Yeah, we do. Look, we need... Brian, you're right. We do need to bring players in. You're absolutely correct. But can I also say as well that there is also a tactics thing here. Like, there is also a way that you play. And, you know, Michael Carrick and Steve Holland are not going to be the guy because we buy 3 or 4 good players. The intensity is crap. The passing is crap. The style of play is crap. I mean, realistically, the only time I get excited is when we have a corner. I think that's the only time it feels like we can do something. Thank you very much for that, SK United. Players look gassed. Give them another month off, says Wan. I went from laughing at Spurs to crying at us, says Forever. I can't speak, says Eno. Can we have the youth instead of these frauds, says Party Beat. And can you do a video comparing our stats under Amrin versus under Carrick, says Vosak. I can't do a video now because it would take a little bit of time, but it was already proven under the... I think the Athletic did something about how our intensity and pressing has factually dropped. Welcome to Members Club, Norman. Thanks for getting your badge in. You're a legend. And Magic Mike says, we were better organised and played better football under Ruben. We just didn't score the chances we made and players down tools because he wasn't their mate and didn't give them days off. And Microphone... Well, look, wasn't it Bruno Fernandes who said in an interview at the weekend that the difference with Carrick is that he's given the players more responsibility and he lets them listen? Which I think is laughable, because you shouldn't listen to your players. And wasn't it last week when the journalists were writing about the players wanting Carrick and being asked about whether they want Carrick? And this is what you get. This is what you get with Man United when you play the player power game. This is what you get at Man United when you ask the players what they want. This is what you get at Man United when you reduce their training. This is what you get at Man United when you ask the players about having a bit of freedom on the pitch. The modern player doesn't need freedom to decide what to do on the pitch. The modern player needs to kick up the fucking arse and being told what to do or you'll be sat on the bench. That's what proper coaching's all about. It's not about let's be friends and let's ask you what you want. It's not. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't do that. There's another 45 minutes. We can get back into this game. Players are ready to go. We've got to start the second half a lot better than we started the first. What number is it? 2. Yeah, Chelsea. Chelsea next on Saturday night. Come on, United. Let's get back into it. Even a point's a good point, isn't it? Whoever bought Yoro needs to get out, says Breach. Ostic, thank you very much and welcome to the Members Club. Also, players like Anderson and their agents are not mugs. No way they'll sign to this club with the garbage football and coaches, says Lee Cape Town. How much views must I get to join the charity match, says that guy. I don't control the charity match. Smash or pass? She's my dream girl. Okay. I was at the training camp last week and I saw no team, a bit like tonight, says Kenneth. Welcome to the Members Club, Karaki. And Shaw giving out endless space. Cunha not getting ball to feet. Midfield headless. No crosses for Sesko. No pressing patterns. Is this United's DNA? And also, Mo, let's not forget, for United to come back into this game, you got to deserve it. And Leeds could have been 3-0 up. The last action of the game was then. When you guys going to admit Sesko is terrible, says Soland, when we start putting bloody crosses in and he gets some service and he misses them. Carrick's killed our intensity, says Andreas. Took the team abroad for a joke of a training camp. No friendlies. We look like a school team with a cool coach. And that's why the January market was crucial, says Irish Whiskey. Bruno must be part of the blame as well. No leadership, says Marlowe. And booed off at half-time. If we lose, cue the spin stories. We're talking to other managers, winning ex-players and media will call him a tactical genius, says Ross McRae, magician. Well, I don't mind the tactical genius if we come back and win the game. But I still think the question marks, even if we win this game, must be asked as to why we were so shit for 45 minutes. Anyway, second half is up and running. Mano haters, how's it going without him, says James. And hopefully 45 minutes has shaken Rust off. I'm playing for a response in the next 45 minutes, says Lewis. This ownership is a joke. We need the protest back, says Irish. And the game's back on, says that guy. Paying that much for a talent when we can't develop, says Marlowe. No changes, says Alan Noonan. I'm surprised by that, actually. That's a very good point, Alan. No changes at half-time. Thanks for all your super chats. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner to do it. Don't forget our big announcement at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It could be even worse if we lose the game. But it is happening. We're only 100 subscribers away from 260,000, by the way. You can see it there, bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Calvert-Lewin going down in the box there from a pullback by Yoro, but it definitely wasn't a penalty. Oh, Casemiro with a bad pass. Right, we've got a break here. Agate fouled. Clever foul. Got to move the ball quicker. No, I don't think that would be very harsh if that had been given as a penalty there. Sesko. Oh, he nearly scored. Corner. See, get the ball into Sesko. Get the bloody ball into Sesko. Let's go. Nice ball in. Little bit of skill. Probably should have scored. Good save by the keeper, but I think he probably should have scored. Right, can we score from the corner? We need an experienced coach who's been in Europe, says Oliver. The only midfielder we have on the bench is a kid, says Emily Derry. According to Wilcox, we didn't need a midfielder in January. It was a weird corner by Bruno. Oh my God, look at Leeds, the way they play out from the back. Luke Shaw, you're going to have to make a foul. He's going to get booked. I mean, he had to make that foul. He had to make that foul there, Luke Shaw. He had to. They would have been in. We need an experienced coach. Thank you very much, Emily Derry and Oliver. I mean, look at Luke. I'm not Luke Shaw's biggest fan, and he's slower than cheese. But look, he's got to make that foul, because if he doesn't, they're probably going to score. No changes is a disgrace, says Azure. A manager of quality wouldn't let these players put in a performance with without any consequences, says Azure. Missed me super chat, Brev. Problem is, even with a decent coach, what kind of pre-season do we get with the World Cup? Also, please don't leave, says Big Z. Thanks for your super chat, pal. Sorry for missing it. Mitesh says, are people really surprised we're playing Ollie Ball? Says Mitesh. I mean, I think that does surprise me, Mitesh, because I've had a bit of stick for this. And I say, like, we've basically done the Carrick thing with Ollie. And people go, you can't compare Carrick to Ollie. And I'm sort of like, he was literally Ollie's assistant coach. It's not just an ex-player who's the interim who might get the job. He was literally Ollie's assistant coach for 3 years. When Ollie got the sack, he was the interim for a little bit. Of course you can compare it, especially when the football's very bloody similar. Hansi Flick, possible. Also, Yoro off, says Mohammed. The game's back on, says that guy. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. I think I've caught up there. Why are we getting battered at home to Leeds, says King. We just need to get one back. Cunha, can he win a penalty? Bruno, can he produce a moment of magic? Luke Shaw, could he put a cross in for once in his life? Cunha, Bruno. Throw in. Shaw is indeed slower than cheese. He's got to go, duh, says the Wrestle Rant. Yoro. Cross comes in. Oh, into the keeper's arms. We need to up the tempo a little bit quicker here. Would you bring Delo on? Seriously, like, would you bring Delo on? I'm not Delo's biggest fan, but I just think he does bring a bit of intensity. Just all feels a little bit... Look, get down the fucking wing, Luke. Get down the fucking wing. We've got a 6'10" striker up front. This is so frustrating. Get the ball down the front. Mazraoui, push on. Why are we putting crosses into the box from Casemiro to Bruno? I mean, am I being ridiculously out there here when I say Luke Shaw and Mazraoui push on? Would you go 4-4-2 and stick Xerxes on? Says Love Hate Games. The problem is Leeds haven't changed their system. It's a back five, it's a midfield four, and it's one up front. So if you go two up front, they'll still keep doing what they're doing. What's happening here? What's the VAR for? Martinez off. For what? Are we having a laugh? What, pulling his hair? Oh, come on. Are we having a laugh? Are we seriously having a laugh? For what? Why is that a red card? Seriously, what? Seriously, explain this to me. Seriously, why is that a red? Fucking hell. Well, people in the chat are saying it is a red. I mean, I just don't get that. I mean, look, there's a little grab of his hair, but he's not pulled his hair. It's like, I just think that's incredible. When I saw it back, I was like, does Yoro stop the ball with his hand in a one-on-one? I mean, Martinez, I think, is as confused as I am. I mean, I don't think he's like pulling his hair. I think he's like reaching to be physical, and I think that's really, really harsh. I really do. I do. And look, United have been shit. There's no doubt about it. United have been shit, and fair play to Leeds. And Leeds are going to be celebrating, and I get that, but if we benefit from that, I'm literally going to say, Sescro, grow your hair into a ponytail, because if you can get a man sent off for that, grow a fucking Harry Kane for the World Cup, grow a ponytail. Literally. If I'm a striker now, I'm growing a ponytail. I am. I'm going Steven Seagal on this shit. I'm growing a ponytail, because if you can get sent off for touching someone's ponytail, grow a fucking ponytail. Definitely. That is super soft. Super soft, that. I've seen people's hair be pulled before, in the sense of, a foul. Pulling it badly. I think it happened to Cucurella, didn't it? But, I mean, that's on the halfway line. And it's a slight touch. It's soft. And look, I'd say it the other way. I don't even think it was a foul. I don't even think it was a foul. And I'd say it the other way as well. If that happened to us, I'd say we're very lucky. If we had a long ponytailed striker and that happened, I'd say it'd be very lucky. Let me run a poll. Look, I'm entitled to my opinion. I've given it. Was it a red? Why give them a decision to make, says Robert. Yeah, but I don't think it was like, I think if you've ever played centre-back, Robert, I don't think it was like, I'm going to pull his hair. I think he's trying to be physical. He's probably trying to grab his shirt and he's grabbed his hair by mistake. I don't think it was like, I don't think there was anything in that. Carrick gets to hide behind that now. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, Ankit. Is that a 3-game ban? I think it's a 1 game. I hate what this sport is becoming, says Java. It's a joke, isn't it? Imagine that happening in a World Cup final. Or a Champions League final. I mean, what are we trying to do? PJMOL in the mud again. They're absolute twats. Carrick gets to hide behind that, says Ankit. Gone from Butcher to Barber, says Gotti. That is good, actually. Martinez is a Muppet, says 1 Inch Wonder. The Butcher becomes the hairdresser, says Justin. What about the slap on Martinez's face, says Thomas. Ugarte back with that bad luck energy, says M. Parker. Contact sport, says Andreas. Vidic is apparently at the game and watches that, says Ryle. And 20 million for Neves in January doesn't look bad now, does it, says Mitesh. Carrick should not stay end of the season, flipping X, says Mini. And I missed Dorgu can't lie, says Sleepy. I just saw a snail overtake Shaw, says Microphone. Thank you very much for that. I mean, we had no energy with 11 men. I can't see us having energy with 10. How are they using VAR for that, but not the arm in Yoro's face, as Oliver? I mean, as I say, it's just a weird, it was a weird one to review as well. I mean, he's got to make subs now because we've got a game on Saturday. We've got half an hour with 10 men. But you know what? What I will say is, as much as I don't think it's a red card, we can't really moan because we've benefited from a few red cards, haven't we? I mean, we've had 3 red cards in Carrick's time. Palace, Newcastle, Spurs. So what goes around comes around. Without luck, Carrick is nothing, says Marlowe. This is Wilcox and Woodgate sabotage. Get them out, says Raja. Still not made a sub, says Josh. Yeah, look, if we're going to give Carrick the job, I hope he doesn't turn into that type of coach. Do you think Fernandez got fouled before Leeds' second goal, says Cal? 3-game ban because straight red, but surely appeal, says JJ. That can't be a 3-game ban. I'm with Oliver. I don't know how VAR is being used for that. I missed 90s football, says Shahin. Can I just make a point here? As much as we're down to 10 men, we really need to be careful that we don't get absolutely pummeled here, because I don't actually see United with 10 men, you know, being good. Like, we could actually implode here. We've got to be very careful. If I was Carrick, I'd be like, why has he not made a sub yet? I haven't told you to take that blue shirt off, says Grand Prairie. I'm not. Come on, shut up. That is the worst red card I've seen in my life. What an absolute joke. The VAR ref needs physically assaulting. Absolutely disgrace. We don't condone that from Noah, but he is angry. That's it for me. Can't go with Carrick next year, says Martin. How does VAR see that, but not the foul on Yoro, says Che. Classic United can't handle the pressure, says Jesper. Didn't even tug his head, says Mandolin. Watch Martinelli do the same thing to Haaland this weekend, says Sorum. And the reffing in this country is pathetic, says Darcy. Barely a yellow, says Manchin. Well, it just changes the game, doesn't it? People travel from all over the world to watch these games. Leeds are looking invigorated by this, though. I wouldn't argue with the red. Game over, says Lewis. It's soft, but it's stupid. A liability he is, says Robert McCormack. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has his hand also on his neck. Is that ignored, says the UK. Well, I mean, look, right. What we're basically saying is it's an advantage to have a ponytail in football now. If I was a Premier League manager, I'd be telling them to all go 70s style and grow their hair long. Because if anybody touches your hair, they're going to get sent off. Let's win with 10 men like Newcastle and Everton did against us, says Marlowe. And it's an automatic 3-game ban because it's considered violent conduct, says Darth. Oh, great. And it is a 3-game ban, says Connor. What did Neville say about it? If you're watching Sky, what did Neville say? A good manager, Dave the Brave says, a good manager would have had this lot prepared and ready after 3 weeks. And it feels like the players are all hungover and half asleep. Very poor performance, worried about Saturday, says Midri. And this encapsulates why we can't give Carrick and his team a full-time role. Can't coach a win against the 15th, 16th place team at home. No intensity and no idea, says Adam. Yeah, it does feel like plan A and there is no plan B. It's not been hard for Leeds, has it? They've had the game from start to finish. Keane got sent off for the same thing and had a 3-game ban, says Lee. Calvert-Lewin had his hands and arms in faces all night. 1 foul against him. How the hell was that a red? Yoro showing his inexperience. And Mandolin says, should ponytails laying on a player's back be considered part of the kit? If so, no more than a yellow, if it was a tug. And this is what happens. That was from Mandolin. And this is what happens when we don't play for 3 weeks, says Dylan Hardman. We were... Oh, good shot there by Cunha. Is he going to do any subs, says James. Lewis says, I wouldn't argue with the red. It's game over. And I'm sick with these owners. Why we keep getting rid of managers is beyond me. There was nought wrong with Amrim. Look at the football now. Glinios out, says Kieran. And at least we can't blame the red card, says Marlowe. Yeah, well, we were losing 2-0 before. Look, set pieces could... I mean, if we can get back into this game, it will be a very strange one. To be fair, 40% say it was a red. And only 60% say it wasn't. So it's not as a landslide that it wasn't. They're in Leeds again. Good play, good play, Cunha there. Well done, Cunha, to get back, because that could have been 3. I'd love to see United win a major trophy again. Apparently, Neville said you can pull his shirt, but you can't pull his hair. I'd love to see United win a major... red all day. Might be soft, but he pulled it. Great defending by Leeds there. Ahmad was on the back post. Right, we've got to get back now. Can't feel bad. Sorry for yourself when you've only got 10 men. There's 25 minutes to go. Make some bloody subs, mate. We can't play basketball with 10 men. Foolish foul, even if it wasn't a red, says MSNY. The rule is the rule. How are we complaining? Stupid from Martinez, says Adnan. Look, in fairness, by the sounds of it, the rule is the rule. I think it's a stupid fucking rule, but the rule is the rule. Give the players a bonus of head and shoulders. Neville has spent the last 10 minutes trying to justify the red card. Best bit of verbal gymnastics I've seen in years. And if you could choose between United winning or Gold Devils tonight and you could only pick one, which would you pick, says Rob? Always United. Come on. Always United. This is why we can't have nice things, says Daryl. And personally, Carrick can't get the job. Poor choices. I think it's a harsh red. We need to change the game, says Smithy. Connor says Neville did the usual reverse bias and agreed with it. Warzula says you're not beating Chelsea. Well... before tonight, I would have said we are beating Chelsea. But after tonight, I don't know. Thanks for all your super chats, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. We are very close to 260,000. We're only 15 subscribers away. So please do click and subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the channel. We've got player rating show coming up after this stream. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I'll pin that in the live chat in a minute. I expect they're not going to be very good. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock. And tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we've got our most significant bit of news in 10 years. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. You might not be in a great mood because of United, but the most significant United stand news in 10 years, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It won't even be football related. It will be channel related. It's that big, no matter what. So make sure you've subscribed. Get ready for that. Cunha into Casemiro. You'd want Casemiro in the box. He will be in the box for the corner. If Man United get back and draw, are you Carrick in? What, for vibes? I mean, there's no tactics in this, is it? It's just pure vibes. Delo and Mbermo coming on. Well, about time we had some fresh legs. Another corner. Goal! Casemiro! Back post! One back! Ho-ho! 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 I tell you what! Casemiro's done it again. 22 minutes to go. Squeaky bum time for Leeds. Bruno with the cross as per usual. Where would we be without these two? Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro just gets himself back onside. I was a little bit worried about that for a moment. Good header. There we go. Set piece. Not set piece, but it did come from a corner. Well, there we go. Maybe we can get back into it. Where would we be without Casemiro and Bruno? Look, I've just tweeted this. I don't know whether you agree with it. Where would we be without Bruno and Casemiro? We're tactically shite, but get Bruno on a cross and there's always a chance. And that's basically United, isn't it? There's always a chance if Bruno gets on a cross. How do we look so much better with 10 men, says Marlowe? Because the vibes come in. The vibes come in. There's no tactics anymore. Carrick's not fucking tactically doing this. This is just basically backs against the wall, vibe football, play on your passion. You know, there's no tactics anymore. It's just go out there and, you know, have a try. It's moments football, isn't it? And we love that. And to be honest, Leeds are in a difficult position here because with 10 men, they should be... with the extra man, they should be well on top. But if I was Leeds, I'd just sit in and park the bus. But then you give up corners, don't you? Agate, clever foul. I would prefer to finish out of the top 5 to be forced a new coach signing, says Dool. Clowns want to keep sacking managers when this team ain't good enough, says Carrick in. How do we look so much better with 10 men, says Marlowe. Is this the brilliance Wilcox was working on in the Dublin training ground, says Joel. And watch England win the World Cup or United win the Champions League, says Gomez. Carrick's reign has just been surviving off vibes, just like Ollie. No plan, no experience, no tactics, no development. 3 fucking weeks off. Best in class, says Ojo. Maguire to grow a mullet for the next game, says 1 Inch Wonder. Mark's retiring, chat. That's the announcement, says Simi. Don't ruin it. Unusual suspects have a shocker. Surprised at Le Mans tonight. He's been shaky as well, says Jack. Mason said it was a red card all day. Typical Man United cheating. And imagine using 3B for players instead of a stadium, says David. Carrick's just realised we only have 10 men, says Gigs 114. Why isn't Mbuemo on yet? He is now, River. And Aidan said it's shocking there's been no subs. A female footballer got a lifetime ban for a hair pull, says Marlowe. And if I was on the pitch and I see that I'm tackling Calvert-Lewin and getting proper red, but he ain't playing football for at least a year, says Sarvesh. Give Carrick a 1 in player ratings, no subs, says John. Well, we've got subs now. Bit of a break in the play as well. Well, look, it's important for Leeds. Apparently Neville said you can kick people, you can shove them, but you don't grab someone's hair. Still banging on about it. Nick, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Leeds about to make a couple of subs themselves. United Stand movie incoming, says Logic. Who would play me? Probably... I knew the surprise, Mark. You're getting knighted, says Parker, who says I'd accept that. Hi, Mark. You've always brought a smile to my face and kept me things going. I'll be sad if you retire, says Ryle. Like my username, he's not good enough. Can't stand him, says I hate Carrick. Bit harsh. Every player needs the Jedi braid flapping around, says XS Notorious. Pauline Clerk would be good casting to play you, says Locke. Lol. Thank you very much. There's still plenty of time for United to get back into this. It's been a really weird game. There's no two ways about it. It has been a very weird game. Please do subscribe to the channel. I mean, United are trying to commit players forward, which I will acknowledge. We are trying to commit players forward here. It's difficult. It's tiring, but you've got to play. Oh, good cross there. Good defending by Yoro. He's been better in the second half, playing on, playing on the edge, I suppose. I mean, he's just not good enough, Luke Shaw. I mean, I don't know whether Ricky's going to try and justify him again, but he's just not good enough. Not good enough by half. You've got a 6'5" striker up front, and you've got a fullback who's slow and can't even get forward. Can you see a draw, Mark? I can. I think I can, you know. And that doesn't, for me, do anything other than say, well done for getting back with 10 men. That doesn't change my opinion in relation to, you know, this is the manager for us, because I think the football's been shit, to be honest. Heard this, Claire Boulding was born to play Goldbridge, says Luke. Heard this a bit recently. Are you considering quitting? I hope not, says Jaden. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning will be that story. Like my username, I've done that one from I Hate Carrick as well. We've seen Bruno go into that quarterback role, which I think is important. I mean, we are committing men forward, and I think that's to be applauded, because this is going to be the problem, though. Nonto. I mean, I don't think he's the problem, but it's their ability to break away. You feel like there will be another goal in this. Be interesting if we got another goal. Would we go for the winner, or would we sit back? We play Yoro. Yeah, they're using the extra man well here, Leeds. Calvert-Lewin, great save, Le Mans. He should have scored. Free header. And he should have scored. Right, we've got to get moving here. We're going long to Mbuemo, who can't keep the ball in. I mean, this is a great chance for Calvert-Lewin. And that's how you use the extra. I mean, what's Delot doing there? What is Delot doing there? I mean, what is Delot doing there? You can't even say he's tired. Answers on a postcard. What's Delot doing there on the back post, not marking Calvert-Lewin? Mark's taken over from Carrick in the summer, says Simi. Happy retirement, Mark, says Rob. TUS gets press privilege at United. That's not the news, Joe. That's not big enough. Dalboy could make a killing on dodgy ponytails, says Cameron. And I thought we had these dog shit performances out of our system. This is killing me, says Toby. And Judy Dench to play Mark in the Bionic. And be gutted if you're leaving, Mark, says Brad. And if you retire, I wish you a happy life. I will be on the show at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. If Ampadu would walk into our midfield, says Marble. Well, so would Tanaka. I think he's had a very good game. Obviously, I think he's... I don't know whether he came off, actually. Oh, Cunha with the shot. I'll give you a little bit of insight. Our match reaction is ready to go live, and it is set up as Man United 2-2, just by complete coincidence, because I've used the Bournemouth one and just changed the name to Leeds. So our match reaction, which is private at the moment, has always been Man United 2, Leeds 2. Jack Loudon, Slow Horses would play you, Mark, says Vanessa. No, you know who'd play me? The guy who did the... Have you seen that I Swear film on Netflix? He also played young Ned Stark in Game of Thrones. I think he does look a little bit like me, to be fair. Well done, Bruno. Oh, Casemiro. I know he scored a goal, but I think he has struggled tonight. I did say before the start of the game, though, didn't I? I did say our midfield worried me. That it might get overrun, and it definitely did in the first half. Happy retirement, Mark. I've done that one. Come on, Yoro, move it quick. Can't be going back to the goalkeeper. Go on, Cunha. You've got to do it yourself. Got to be stronger there, Sesko. What's up with this retirement talk? All the top 1% of fans know that Mark's Secrets News is he's doing a live Manscaped tutorial. What, at 10 o'clock, OTG? Can we use AI? Even Leeds have better fullbacks than us, says Odling. And hold on a minute. Anshul says, can we use AI to clone you? Says Anshul. Goldbridge is the new James Bond, says Blackbeard. I mean, that would be great. That would be great, but it's not true. I mean, look, the only reason we're in this game is because we've got Bruno Fernandes and potentially Casemiro getting on the end of something. What about Lacey, says Ryan. Why not? Corner. These are the ways we can get back into it. It's got to be a good corner by Bruno. It normally is. Goal kick. Longstaff coming on for Leeds. I'm going to sit down. Kick your ass says, my name's Bond, Unibond, here to fill your cracks. And Marcus James Bond, the below blows up an important landmark and Goldbridge yelling, I can't bloody speak, says Collins. Thank you very much. Here's Embuemo. Still got 5 minutes to go here, and we are. Leeds are now doing the dangerous thing. What a save by the keeper. And another corner. Finally putting crosses into the box here. We could still get that point. It's amazing what happens when you put crosses in the box to Sesko, isn't it? He's unlucky there. Off the line. Off the line. Fucking hell. Leeds have got a 3v4 here. Nonto, we've got to be very careful here. Nonto, past to low, into Justin. Good tackle, Cunha. He's given a foul against Leeds and booking him for diving. My God, this ref's brilliant. Maybe we should go to a back three, says Michael Evans. We just got to get crosses into the box. It's the... It's the best thing we've had. Oh my God, where's Delo? You got to sprint, Delo. You only came on fucking 20 minutes ago. Oh, Agate slips, and that's going to be a throw into Leeds. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. Calvert-Lewin cleared one off the line there from Casemiro. I mean, look, how much... You know what? People are going, oh, we should have got a draw. How much of our time this season is from being good at crosses? Oh, come on. We've got to get a tackle in there. Good tackle, Luke Shaw. Do you... thank you, Tom. Mark is at 10 a.m. tomorrow to say going to play PS99 Pro Evo. Mike, thanks for your super chat. Three minutes to go. We've got to get the ball up the pitch. Was that offside? Boot it, Luke. Don't just pass it. Don't pass it out. Boot it out. Garte commits the foul. Time's ticking down. We could do about 10 minutes added on. What are your thoughts on the game, everybody? I mean, look, I think we've gone down to 10 men and you don't need tactics. We've gone to hero ball and moments, and that always suits us. I mean, I actually think we've been better playing with 10 men because you don't have to worry about tactics. You just play on vibes, don't you? And ultimately... I think Leeds would have probably been a lot more comfortable playing against 11 men because United have had to take caution to the wind. To be fair, I never would have said it, but our best chance of getting a result was probably playing with 10 men because we just play this vibe football, don't we? But ultimately, I think whatever happens in the next few minutes, even if we somehow won the game, I would say this is just not what I want to see Man United doing next season. This is not what I want to see Man United appointing as a vision for the next 3 years. I think it's inexcusable the way we've played tonight after 3 weeks off against a team that really, if we'd beat them, we could have been sending them down. And they're a rival of ours as well. I mean, this is not like we've had some shitty performances at home over the years, but Leeds are actually a rival of ours. Come on, Delo, push. Push. No, take him on and put a cross in. Took too long. Another corner. Come on. Oh, Luke Shaw's shouting at the crowd because he put a cross in. Good one, Luke. That's what it's all about. Seven minutes. Whoever said 7 minutes had insider information. Go to the back post, Bruno. Don't shoot, Delo. Don't fucking shoot, Delo, you dickhead. Why? What in your head? You're like my bloody puppy. You're like my puppy. Just, no, don't think. It's a terrible decision. Oh, the commentator said on the 88th minute there'd be 7 minutes added on. Don't let Agate take it quick. Oh, referee says play on. You've got to put that cross in. They've got a man down. Oh, Mbuemo. Fucking hell. Heaven should have started. Carrick risked another injury by putting Martinez in, and he got a red. Big mistake from the coach, says Jazz. God help us in the Champions League, says Adnan. Do you worry about the Champions League? No, because Liverpool and Chelsea... Well, no, because Chelsea are shit. So I don't worry about the Champions League because I think we've got a big enough lead. Mike Robertson, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. A new studio inside Old Trafford is the news. You're never going to guess the news, but you'll see it at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Make sure you tune in. What's the one thing that made us bang average today, says Vive? Crap tactics. Some people won't want to acknowledge that. Crap tactics. We're losing to Leeds. 85 minutes, 10 men, 2 subs, says Sam. I just want to be free of these players that have been here for more than 5 years. We need a refresh. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm sure we'll have a massive recruitment drive in the summer and we'll bring a world-class manager in. Nothing to worry about. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Mark every... sorry, that's something else. We were very close to 260,000. We were about 12 away. So please click and subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Also, player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Player ratings is back on the Match Reaction show straight after this show. So if you haven't registered for player ratings before, link is in the live chat. Mark every player out of 10. 6 is average. And star for your man of the match. I still feel like there might be another chance for United. Waited 3 weeks for this. I mean, honestly, I'd like to get a draw, but it won't change my outcome on the performance. I think this is just, for me, a draw doesn't enhance. Like, what I'm looking for is that they're going to give this guy the job. And what I'm looking for is an audition from him that justifies him getting the job. And I just don't, this is not justification for getting the job, and I do. That's what worries me. It's like 3 weeks for this type of a performance, and of course Leeds are going to sit back with even though they've got. I mean, we lost to 10 men. We lost to 10 men. We were drawing against 10 men, and we lost to 10 men. So it's not impossible to get back into a game with 10 men. And Leeds desperately need to win this game. So they're going to get nervous in the last few minutes, and maybe we can get an equaliser, but it still doesn't justify a shit performance to me. You've got to get the cross in, Yoro. You have to whip the cross in. Casemiro. Corner. Still 2 minutes to go. Offside. Fuck a duck. Yeah, he is offside. Good call by the ref, to be fair. You can't leave, Mark. Please don't down paintbrushes. He carried on until we went mental, says Nick P. Title of match reaction should be Daniel Farke's Carrick over. "16 years since Leeds won at Old Trafford. It's shameful," says Marlowe. There's only a minute and a half to go here. And Buemo, you've got to try and work across here. Got to work across. Oh, don't, yeah, Bruno. Nah, the one time. Le Mans is coming up. Keeper punches it away. The low, don't shoot. And that's the final whistle. 2-1 to Leeds. 2-1 to Leeds. So that's Carrick's. I mean, I need to look at this. Let me have a look at this. And now look, I mean, look, I'll say it in the match reaction. There's certain people who need calling out who are telling us that Carrick's definitely the guy to get the job. I mean, in our last 6 games, we've drawn 2. In our last 4 games, we've lost 2, won 1, and drawn 1. That's where we're at the moment. Okay, player ratings. Yeah, very disappointing. Shower of shit. Totally crap tactics, poor performance, beaten by a relegation side. Leeds totally deserved to win it. Make sure you do your player ratings, and I'll see you on the match reaction in a minute.